In solving the drug problem, the Royal Thai government follow His Majesty the King steps. We faced the problem of drugs, I think, 1,000 years ago. Yeah, for the second ICAT,
Yes.
we proposed to organize this workshop to prove that the guiding principle on AD can put into practice.
Sadika, welcome to Thailand today. I'm Kusuma Yotasman as your host. Alternative development programs aimed at encouraging impoverished farmers to switch from growing illicit crops play an important role in United Nations drug control strategies. For over 40 years, Thailand, led by His Majesty King Bhumibol, has set an example in addressing opium growing among indigenous hill tribes. Since 2011, Thailand has worked with the United Nations on alternative development and collaboratively organized a workshop on international guiding principles on alternative development. The hard work bore fruit in 2013 as the United Nations International Guiding Principles on Alternative Development was endorsed by member countries. Thailand today is glad to welcome Ms. Rachanikorn Sarasiri, advisor attached to the Office of the Narcotics Control Board, to our program. She will tell us about the International Seminar Workshop on the implementation of United Nations Guiding Principles on Alternative Development 2, which was held last week in Thailand. We are pleased to welcome Ms. Rachanikorn Sarasiri, advisor attached to the Office of the Narcotics Control Board. Sawadika. Welcome you once again to Thailand today.
Yes.
Well, we are talking a very important topic on the drug or narcotic in Thailand. But we do, since you are dealing in this business, so what is it all about? Why do we have to have such a problem so much, at how much it can be solved by His Majesty project?
If we trace back to the 40 years ago, when His Majesty initiated the Royal Project and his royal wisdom on how to help the hill tribe people to stop growing opium poppy cultivation, His Majesty introduced the idea or initiative on to grow other cash crop instead of growing opium. But beyond that, not only crop substitution, but His Majesty also introduced how the hill tribes people can earn their living without depending on opium poppy cultivation. It means that he brought the development to that area that we can call is a holistic development that deal very much with the rural development, that the people in that area can earn their living by other alternative way, not growing opium. That is the background of the alternative developments, because we mean other alternative way of earning the living. Yes.
That's course, and that's very important for the Thai people. But before we go to the workshop, a little bit more that until this minute, for what the initiated of His Majesty, until this minute, is still working? They still believe in that?
Because in solving the drug problem, the Royal Thai government follow His Majesty the King steps in implementing the alternative development since the beginning. If we trace back that His Majesty initiated Royal Project in 1969, and then United Nations came in to Thailand, because at that time we had a huge problem of opium poppy cultivation in the north of Thailand, and the cooperation with United Nations started when UNFDAC at that time cooperate with the Royal Thai government that the ONCB, or Office of the Narcotics Control Board, was established after the coming in of the UNFDAC. We established in 1976, but the Royal Project started in 1969. And then after that, we cooperate with UNFDAC in implementing the project on the highland. That is a starting point that we use His Majesty wisdom to help the Thai Hill tribe people to stop growing opium. Yes.
Since our program has gone to 176 countries, so people in the foreign country will be doubtful. Well, they have the two institutes, and that we talk about successful. But still, the problem of narcotic is still invading into this country. So how is it like?
To solve the problems of drugs is not the easy task, because it's concerned with people, concerned with other factors. We face the problem of drugs, I think, 1,000 years ago, since the beginning in the old days, since the Egyptian era. So it is not easy to eliminate it, but we can help reduce it, not to be more affected to the people. But anyway, we have to admit that in the past, we use drugs such as opium as the medicine in the past. So in some community, opium is still play more in their in their life and in the culture, particularly the Hill tribes. We also have some the old generation of Hill tribes that they still use opium at the moment, and so we think that it is just a small number. I think it's we can this a group of people, maybe we can allow them to still have the opium smoking, but it's a very small number comparing to the past years of 30 years ago. So what we would like to mention is that to solve the drug problem, we have no model. I mean, one model doesn't fit for all. We have to explore for another model, and we think that alternative development is one model that can help to reduce the supply of illicit drugs, because opium is also the core ingredients for other drugs like heroin or morphine. Even we can reduce the source of opium poppy cultivation. We can reduce other drugs problem also. That's why we promote the alternative development that Thailand implemented more than 40 years now, and we think now it's the right time that we should publicize our work to the world community, and also publicize His Majesty wisdom on the alternative development also to the world now.
So that alternative workshop has been done. First time already gone. Yes. Done. So because of that, it's so fruitful that you have to do the second one.
Yes. The first time we organized the workshop in Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai in 2011. We call ICAT 1.
ICAT 1, yes.
At that time, we have the practitioner. We invited the practitioner who are the expert in the field of alternative development from many regions that have implemented this program. We cooperate with the Mae Fa Luang Foundation Royal Project to have the study visit and workshop in Chiang Rai for the Mae Fa Luang to observe Doi Tung development project, and we went to Ang Khang of the Royal Project. That is the first ICAT that we come up with the international guiding principle on alternative development as a guideline for those who work in this field, and we submitted this guideline at the Commission. I mean, we have the policy maker forum that belongs to UNO, belong to the United Nations. That is Commission on Narcotic Drugs that we organize, that UN will organize once a year, and we submitted this draft international guiding principle, and it was adopted by the Commission, and the Commission agreed to propose this draft to the General Assembly, UN General Assembly,
yes.
which is the highest commission and highest committee of the United Nations, and we push it to make it to be United Nations guiding principle on alternative development.
So that means the United Nations has accepted this idea.
Yes.
And then they have to come down and have a look at all this, the reality?
Oh, we work with the many countries. We have from the workshop, and we also have the small group meeting with the expert and from many countries, and they all endorse and agree that this should be the United Nations guiding principle. Yes.
Interesting, because despite of the names and what we get at the moment for different other factions, but this particular work of His Majesty has been done so much that lead to a very good reputation of our country. So that's come to the second ICAT.
Yeah, for the second ICAT,
yes,
we proposed to organize this workshop to prove that the guiding principle on AD can put into practice. This time we bring the high level from many countries.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Like,
means the high level is
some?
like a minister or the head of the agency, or ambassador, yes, from many countries to come and to see how we implement the alternative development. This time we received very good cooperation from the government of Myanmar. Yes, that we implement the alternative development project with Myanmar, Thailand and Myanmar. We implement the project together in the area that we call Ta Chilek. That is near the Thai border. And in the place, in the one area we call Yongkha area. That is the one of the spot of our project that implemented with Myanmar government. And we received very good cooperation from Myanmar government, that the Myanmar government allowed the participants of the ICAT to observe the project in Myanmar. This is the first time that Myanmar government would like the world community to know what the Myanmar government also implemented, the drug solving
the problem of this.
Yes,
but it seems like a few of our ASEAN countries always being scrutinized by the rest of the world on this part of it. So at that ICAT too, so how many participants on the workshop internationally and domestically?
We divided into two parts for the ICAT 2. The first part is the study trip and the workshop in the area, that we organized the trip to Myanmar to see the project, and that is happened on 19th of November, and then 20th we brought them to see Doi Tung Development Project in Chiang Rai, to see how for the part of Thailand what we did for the develop the people in that area. Mae Fah Luang Foundation brought in the group of the Hill tribe people who live in the area in Doi Tung in the project, and they can observe how they earn their living. They have the value added products, that we have the raw material like coffee, and then Doi Tung made the extension, more product than such only coffee. They made a cookie, and also the macadamia nuts. That is very favorite, very favorite products of Doi Tung. That also now expand more flavors, a lot of flavors like wasabi flavors.
So they can say that the majority of the of the Hill tribe. I still call Hill tribe, but you call
Yes.
another name. But still, they are very happy, very
Yes, they are
satisfied
very
with what they
happy
have
because they
at the
also
moment.
earn the income from living and works in the Doi Tung areas. Yes, and apart from Doi Tung, on 21st we came down to Chiang Mai to observe the royal project in Nong Hoi, and we could see the factory to pack the packaging factory, that all the vegetables and the fruits that came to this packaging factory. This is the end of the product. So for the royal project also have their own brand products that we all already know, that is the Doi Kam products. Yes. So
It's
you can see the process in Thailand, and how we use the royal wisdom and we expand and to add value to the products. Yeah, that is many participants from different countries. They are very appreciate and commend Thailand that we are the leading country for alternative development, and our work in Thailand is very successfully implemented with the participation of the people, I mean the communities, and also the government also support to this work.
Yes. So Thai people should jointly to go, congratulate ourselves and go on with the work. So let me come back a little bit on this ICAT too. Who are the main speakers and the contributors at this workshop?
I would like to say that Her Royal Highness Princess Pachara Pitiyapha, Her Royal Highness has involved in the ICAT process since the beginning, since the ICAT 1, actually, I would like to say, because Her Royal Highness pushed very much to bring in the international guiding principle to be the United Nations guiding principle.
Yes.
When the ICAT 1 began, at that time Her Royal Highness has not yet been the ambassador yet, but she also, Her Royal Highness, interested in this alternative development work and would like to brought Thailand into more, the alternative development work in Thailand to be brought into the world community. So at that time, Her Royal Highness also pushed a lot to brought the ICAT, to brought the participant to the ICAT 1 and brought the international guiding principle to the United Nations. And when Her Royal Highness was the ambassador, Thai ambassador in Vienna, and Her Royal Highness was the vice chair, second vice chair of the Commission on the Narcotics Drug also. She pushed a lot and played a key role in lobby and have the discussion with the foreign ambassador and foreign donors and made many dialogues with these people to make them to agree and adopt for us to push forward for the international guiding principle to be the United Nations guiding principle, and it was successfully. Yes.
So until this minute, actually, well, how is the situation of narcotics in our country? It's better or?
I think we still face the problem of illicit drug smuggling into the countries that mostly come from the north, and now the route changed to be to the northeast also for some kind of drugs. But anyway, we cooperate with our neighboring countries.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you. So ASEAN friend, what are we doing?
ASEAN also at the ASEAN level, at the sub-regional level, which mean that Mae Khong sub-region also, that we work together with we include China also. We work together with the Safe Mae Khong project, that we have the command center in Chiang Mai, that we just finished phase 1 and phase 2. We will start new phase very soon, that now we also invited Vietnam and Cambodia to join for this new phase of Mekong River because we think that not only in the upper part of Mekong, but now Mekong also is used as a smuggling route from the north down to the south. So we had to work in the lower part of sub-Mekong also. This is what our work are going to do.
So since His Majesty has such an immense contribution to us all and also to the rest of the world also. So on this occasion of His Majesty 88th birthday anniversary, what would you like to say something on that, all the alternative development?
Yes, actually the ICAT 2 we also organized to attribute to His Majesty the King on his 88th anniversary birthday also. That is, we would like to give the honor to His Majesty that his royal wisdom is a true and is a real that can be put into practice. And Thailand already proved to the world community that 40 years now that we have implemented the alternative development work in Thailand, that we successfully reduced the opium poppy cultivation by the Hill tribe, and we could help the Hill tribe people to earn their living and have a new way of life without depending on growing opium poppy. And I would like to say that actually His Majesty wisdom on alternative development can be applied to other areas of drug solving also, not only for the supply reduction, we can use for the demand reduction as well.
Exactly.
Because now our Minister General Phaiboon Kumchaya, he focused more on the community development and to solve the drug epidemic in the community. So when we use when we work with a stern measure, maybe on law enforcement or other kind of measure to make the people to stop maybe stop the trafficking.
Exactly.
They should have their other ways of earning living. So alternative development can come in, and this is deal with actually. Alternative development deal with the rural development also, which corresponds to the MDG goal or Sustainable Development Goal of United Nations also. It is the post 2015.
Okay, so Thailand Today would like to thank Rachanikorn, Sarasiri, an advisor attached to the Office of the Narcotic Control Board, who reinforced the success of international efforts against illicit crops through sustainable use of alternative development. His Majesty the King is a living and leading contributor to this great cause, thanks to his exceptional knowledge and application of science and local wisdom. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching Thailand Today. I'm Kusuma Yuvathasmut. Hope to see you again tomorrow. We'll say goodbye together. Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka.